Hi, I'm Diane Dayton, backstage at Berks during the 35th annual Boscov Berks Jazz Fest here in Reading, Pennsylvania. Catching up right now with pianist-composer Alex Bugnon. Thanks for taking time.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you.
You just had sound check and rehearsal for the noon show that's going to be happening today,
Yes,
right?
and it sounded so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah, with Gerald Beasley conducting and playing bass, Bobby Lyon on piano, and Bobby and me playing together, Evan Harp, JJ Sanseverino, Mary Meadows. It's going to be really nice.
It's a lot of energy on that stage,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Definitely a lot of energy. Well, let's talk a little bit about you, things that are going on, and even your background too. So I think you're originally from Switzerland, is that right?
It's precise that I'm from the French-speaking part of Switzerland and
Yeah.
not the German part.
Right.
People start, as soon as I tell them Switzerland, they start talking German. But I don't understand German. I've never spoken German in my life.
Right.
But the the western part of Switzerland, Montreux to be exact.
Okay, yes.
The home of the greatest European jazz festival.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You also then studied in Paris, is that
Yep.
right?
Well, I went through the different classical steps. I started in Montreux, of course, then another in the bigger city in Switzerland, then Paris. And then I ended my classical studies in Salzburg at the Mozart Academy.
Okay.
And then I went to Berkeley.
Yeah, you went to Berkeley, yeah. To Berkeley, of course, yeah. Your uncle, Donald Berkeley, what an influence on you.
Oh, yeah. He was, I know him since I was a baby. I've known him as long as I can remember things. And he taught me a lot of things about music, because he could talk about music 24/7, and he had nothing to say but listen. So, but when I was 14 years old, I spent a summer with him in Switzerland. He was touring Switzerland and Europe, and I went with him, and I fell in love with that regimen of a musician, of a serious musician such as himself. First, he would wake up early, listen to music, listen to classical, old jazz records, always with his mouthpiece in his mouth, trying to play with the mouthpiece, and then he would read scores, then write music, then go to rehearsal, then come back, have sound check, more listening, practicing, show, and do this repeat the next day.
Wow.
And that regimen to me just felt so right. And I would never forget, I was 14 years old.
Okay.
That's when I decided to be a musician.
Is that right?
Yeah.
What was your first official gig that you call official?
My official gig was when I was in school at Berkeley.
Okay.
I toured with a gospel group. They were from Georgia, but they were based out of Boston. And we toured all the way, all through the South, in a little Winnebago.
Okay, yeah.
And did all the churches.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
That was my first gig. That paid maybe like $20.
Yeah. Right.
And all the food you could eat.
And all the food you could eat.
Yeah.
There was a benefit. Herbie Hancock.
Yeah.
Tell me about that time.
Well, Herbie I know him because we because of my aunt, mostly because of my aunt. My mother's sister was a jazz club rat when she was in her 20s, and she met Donald when he came to play in Paris in 1958. She was living in Paris, and they got together, and they were together for a long time. She went back to New York with him to live in the Bronx, in his apartment in the Bronx. And at that time, Donald had just brought Herbie to New York.
Okay.
And 20 years old Herbie.
Oh, wow.
From Chicago, because Herbie had subbed for Donald's piano player who couldn't get to the gig because of a snowstorm.
Okay.
So he asked around town. Everybody said, "Oh, get Herbie Hancock. He's great. He's 20 years old, but he's great." And he did so good that he brought him in New York. So they were all three of them in the apartment in the Bronx. Yeah. And my aunt, they had a deal. She had a deal with Herbie. He would play piano for her all day.
Okay.
Only if she cooked him all his meals, because she was French, great cook. Right. So they had that deal. food for piano.
Okay, that
So,
works.
yeah, and they remained really good friends up until her death 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Stories behind.
Yeah.
Well, there was an encounter with Najee that changed some things for you too, didn't it?
Yeah, I was a touring piano player, keyboard player in New York. I was playing with Freddie Jackson, Melvin Moore, and then I got the gig with Najee, and I was less of a background and more up front because
Right.
I had solos. I was playing melodies with Najee, so I was more of an upfront player.
Okay.
And at a show in New York, his record company came to hear him.
Uh-huh.
And so this between shows, they came to me. They said, "Hey, Alex, we made a lot of money with Najee, and I think we can make a lot of money with you. Do you want to do a record?" And at that time, I did not want to be an artist. I wanted to be a producer.
Okay.
I wanted to be Quincy Jones or Tommy Nkrumah.
Right.
And I said, "Okay." And then we were on tour with Najee, and then I was with Keith Sweat, and we recorded all the demos for my record in the tour bus for my first album, Love Season.
In the tour bus?
In a little Casio keyboard like that, a little drum machine, and a 4-track Porter Studio. All the.
What year was that?
That was I worked on it in '88.
Okay.
It came out in '89.
Okay.
Yeah.
Amazing how these things happen.
That was so funny. That was so funny. I was struggling all the way to that point after that when they asked me if I wanted to. I never had to shop a deal. People want to shop a deal everywhere, and they get turned off until they get one. For me, it didn't happen like that. I mean, I did all the jobs in the world. I was a taxi driver. I was a French teacher. You name it, I did it.
Yeah, right.
But to get a deal, I never struggled.
Right. Wow.
So, that was
107 degrees in the sun. Boy, do I remember that well.
Yeah. That was a.
Is it 91?
That was 107 degrees in the shade.
In the shade, that's right. Felt like the sun was 107, right? Was that on Epic?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it was.
Okay.
That was my first one on Epic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. That had to feel good too, didn't it?
Yes. Yes. I mean, although the Love Season that really sold almost gold when it's like 300,000, 350,000 copies. So for a first album, I was shocked.
Yeah.
Because I never did that with expectation. I just did that, to make more music.
Yeah.
And when I found out, when it just got all the way up in the charts, I was like, oh, now I'm gonna have to be an artist for real. Yeah.
Well, speaking of music, and people have been asking, you're
Yeah.
working on something, aren't you?
I've been working on for years on a new album, but in 2016, my daughter was born. I have a grown daughter from a previous marriage, but my present marriage we've been married for a long time. So when she was born, my wife and I got into side businesses, real estate development, stuff like that, and it started to work really good. So between going on the road, that side business, and raising the kid that we have 2 now, it was really hard for me to focus on recording and writing, first of all.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of juggling.
Yeah, so I would get home. I'll try to do that. It's no use. But now it's people have been asking me for years, when is new music coming out? I'm like, yeah, soon, and it's never been soon. Yeah, I was lying. But now I have a really good. For a few months now, I've been talking to Barry Eastmond.
Yes.
And we saw each other at breakfast yesterday, and we had a long conversation, beautiful conversation. I love this guy. I mean, I was playing his tunes with Freddie Jackson in the 80s, and he's going to produce the record. So he's magical. He's magical, and he knows exactly what to do with this guy, this artist. He has such a knack for knowing exactly what to do, what's going to work and what's not going to work, that I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah. energy in it, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you know this is going to be a great relationship.
Yes.
Yeah.
We know each other for years.
Yes.
When I first moved to New York, I didn't have a gig at the time. I went to check him out at a club called Mikhail's, which was a very great jazz, contemporary jazz club. David Sanborn used to play there. But he was playing with Doc Powell. It's the first time that I saw Barry Eastmond back in 1985 or 86. So we've been knowing each other for a long time.
Well, you have your kids along with you this time here
Yes.
at Berks, don't
Yes,
you? So I guess if I were to ask you, if you're not, trying to compose and write and playing, you're with the family doing some things too.
Yeah.
And what were those adventures that you just had recently here at Berks with them?
Well, yesterday we had a day off.
Yeah.
So we went to Crystal Caves. I've seen that sign for years coming in and out of Berks.
Yeah.
So I said, you know what, let's go check this out. So we went there, and then we went to Cabela's.
Okay.
We stayed in there 3 hours. They were playing with everything that was for sale. And then we came back. They loved the pool. And they wanted room service, and that's where I draw the line. I said, no. We're going down to the restaurant.
That's right, go down.
But they love hotels. They love to be on the road.
Oh, that's great. That's great to be able to take them along like that on occasion too.
And my wife she works so much more than I do, and she's with them now. She's at the pool with them. She's on the phone, on the computer, kind of half working, half being with them. So,
what does she do?
She's in the nonprofit.
Okay.
She's the VP of New York Cares, which is an organization that helps New Yorkers, and it's a huge organization that works with the NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball. That's what she does. She was the executive director of an organization that sponsored women artists before. The Women's Studio Workshop. She switched 2 years ago.
Oh, that sounds good.
She knows how to ask money. I don't. I'm scared.
Well, it's good she's in your life.
She knows how to ask for money, and she gets it. That's
good.
That's incredible.
Is there anything that we don't know about you, Alex, that you would like us to know?
No.
Anything else that you would like to share?
After all these years, people know me pretty. They know that I'm just a simple guy who likes simple pleasures, and I love to be on stage, and that's it.
What does it feel like for you? I mean, I know what it feels like in the audience watching you, the excitement, but you just, it just comes out of you, the energy that you have.
Well, I mean, especially if we are a good unit on stage,
right?
Then everything flows. But if there is like something that doesn't work, like the weak link in the band, that it's just everything. But luckily, it doesn't happen often to me.
Well, you found your voice.
Yeah.
With this, haven't you?
Yeah.
What is it about the piano?
I don't know. I think if I could explain it, it's hard to explain because I'm the one who's doing it.
Right.
If I could explain it, is that I have a good understanding and knowledge, and I studied the whole spectrum of American music, from gospel all the way up to free jazz of the 70s.
Wow. Okay.
So I've been studying, and I'm not saying that I can play it all, but I've studied, really studied, and still do. I still listen to all the records that I can, and I play along with stuff that I haven't listened to. It could be McCoy Tyner, like obscure record from the 60s. I do all that all the time. I love to learn.
Yeah.
So I think it has something to do with that.
Absolutely, right? Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're going to get to hear you today.
Yeah.
And this is at the noon show. It's a brunch show. It's the last day of the Berks Jazz Fest. And it's here at the Doubletree by Hilton, downtown Reading. And it's a noon show, and it's going to be so much fun because, like you said earlier, there's a lot of energy there, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it sounded so great at soundcheck. I can't wait.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much for
My
taking
pleasure.
time.
Thank
It
you.
was wonderful to catch up with you.
Yes, yeah, it was.
Berks Jazz Fest.
Berks Jazz Fest.